Okay. Begin afternoon, everybody. Begin with a prayer. God of our fathers, in whom we trust, by whose guidance and grace this nation was born.
E tu atua kahu arua, nā toa mātua pono, nā toa aroha, e whānau mai, e Aotearoa.
Bless these council of Upper Hutt and give all things needed for their faithful discharge of their responsibilities.
Whakapainga mai mātou, ko nā mai mā whakatiki, ho mai ki mātou, nā mai. Kia aratiki, ato mātou mahi, nā mahi, hei haupuri aki, e tia haupuri.
Give to each good health and good judgment for the decisions to be made, wisdom beyond our own, and a clear understanding so that we may promote thy glory and the welfare of all of us in this city.
Ho mai ki tine mā mātou, tia monanga pai, me te whāka mā pai hoki, kia whakatau, kia tanga, nā matua tūaki hore tia, matatea tanga, ia tia kāroa o tō ranga, o tia korea o tō ia whakatiki.
Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Ko ehu kotai tō mātu taki. Amen.
Thank you. Before we be into the official business, just a couple of few things since the our last meeting. We had on the 13th of March a citizenship where we had 72 candidates. It was the second one in quite a short period of time. Again, with this time 18 different countries. So on the 20th, we had the opening of the Tuatara Brewery that has relocated from Kapiti to the brewery town here with a big brewery at the back there. So, and obviously through the March, April period, we had a number of the community meetings to discuss the annual plan, and local water done well, and everyone was involved in that. 28, we had participation in the Tai Chi when they were doing their history event, their conference over here, and a number of people, of councillors, demonstrated their prowess on Tai Chi out in front of the council chambers. Some struggled. We had the opening, I attended the opening of Relay for Life. Again, all the colleges in our city participated. In large numbers again. Then just last week we had the Anzac Day dawn service plus the St John service at 11 o'clock. And then actually just this morning I attended the Whitireia Welltech graduations ceremony down at in Lower Hutt. And just acknowledged the passing last week of Jim Noyce. Jim received a civic award in Upper Hutt here from this council in 2013 for his service to the community, particularly his role in musical theatre. And Jim was also a trustee of Upper Hutt Concert Grand Piano Trust at Whirinaki. So he had particularly in the music field. And Jim passed away last week. And we should also, as a city, regardless of people's religious beliefs, we should acknowledge the passing of Pope Francis. Obviously, he was a Pope for the people. You could see the turnout for him with the world leaders that turned to his funeral. So we will acknowledge the passing of Pope Francis. So thank you. And now we move on to the apologies. Do we have any apologies? We have apologies from Councillor Hammond. Happy to move. Do we have a seconder? Seconder and Deputy Mayor Swell. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Contrary, no. It's been carried. Declarations of interest. So we know we've got to declare any interest. If any changes arise, can you please let governance know? And we now move to the public forum. We have no members of the public that wish to speak. And we now move to item 4, which is the Wellington Water Limited half-year report. Just a noting paper, receiving paper. Any comments? You wish to say?
Worship, so there's no comments. It is just a receiving paper. There's these our website is in accordance with the report is late. But if there are any questions on the report, I can answer those through LinkedIn.
Any comments, councillor Bentley?
Thank you, Your Worship. My question was just on the financial statements. I see, this is on page 22 of the agenda. There's a line item from last year, tax expense. I didn't realise Wellington Water Limited was subject to company tax. Is that correct?
Through your worship, so look, I don't know, councillor, sorry, I have to ask the question for you, but happy to do so.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments, councillor Authorised?
Thank you. I just wanted to ask about business case work on water meter installation. So we're obviously doing a business case. Upper Hutt City Council is doing one. Is Wellington Water also doing one? And how many other councils do you know are doing business cases on water meter installation?
Through your worship, so that all Wellington Water is doing a business case on behalf of all councils, with the Greater Wellington Regional Council, and they'll be delivering that business case in 12 months.
Deputy Swales.
Thank you. It's just an observation, is that we were looking at the KPIs that Wellington Water put, and they go from pages, let me just go there, you know, where you've got the traffic light system, which starts on 13 and on page 21, just before the financial statement. There are a couple of reads in there that are quite concerning. I know this is only a 6-monthly report, but do we think that we'll be able to come back on track with regard to some of them, particularly the one on page 18 where it comes to give effect to Lana Multi-Y, because they're one of the irregulators. That's on page 18. Sorry, trying to get you to keep up with me right here. So that is a bit of a concern and what they've said there. But like I said, I know it's a noting paper and I know it's only 6 months, but it does concern me.
Comment noted.
Just a comment.
Okay, no other comments. We do have, I'm happy to move the council receives a report of Wellington Water half-year report 1st of July to the 31st of December 2024. Seconder? Councillor Holderness. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Contrary, no, been carried. We now move to item 5, which is on 25, which is Te Aka o Te Kupenga Maidstone Park Trust, authorised 2023 annual report. And you'll note there the discussions there where it's due to wait for the completion of the auditor's report. So welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Do you want any comments you'd like to make?
Just in regards to the unaudited 2023-24 financials, just to give you a sense of where those are at. Unfortunately, as a new trust, it took some time for the appointment of an auditor, and the auditors, being very thorough, have gone and done the 23 audit first. Then they've turned their minds to the 2023-24 audit. What that has meant is that they weren't able to attend stock take on at the 30th of June, and as a consequence, they've only started auditing these particular accounts at the beginning of this calendar year, which means that they have been unable to go back and reconcile and verify our inventory and sales. Now we've had a good conversation with them. We could put in an awful lot of resource to manually unpack all of that. What we've collectively agreed with the auditors is that we'll take a qualified opinion for the 23-24 financial year. They will talk to that in their management report. They are not, certainly in terms of what they've represented to us, they don't have any concerns per se, they just haven't been able to audit those numbers, which unfortunately are material in terms of the audit. They are now unfortunately stuck in their busy period, which means that they've still got a few more steps, nothing more that we are required to do in order for them to complete that. So we hope to have a fully audited set of accounts soon, and they have certainly guaranteed us that they will be able to use the appropriate timing for this next audit. So we'll be able to do a stock take on the 30th of June, and we don't expect there to be any issues. So sorry, it's a bit of a long-winded explanation, but that, unfortunately, that's where we are at.
Appreciate it. Yeah, sorry, I should introduce everyone. Those Julianne and Cindy. Thanks for coming. Are there any comments or further questions? I'd say thank you for the work that you guys do and your trustees, because I can tell you that it's the envy of most sporting organisations, the facilities we've got over there, and it's and it runs. You guys say thank you very much, and you pass it on to the other trustees and staff. Councillor.
Commissioner, just asking about the June 23 accounts. Did Hall Markham provide a management report?
Yes, they
And what did it contain, essentials?
have.
Just the material things.
Yes, that's a good question. I'm trying to reference back. There were no material findings. There were a couple of policies that they wanted to see for the next audit, which I think travel was a policy. Was there anything else? I think it was the main one. The slightly frustrating part about that audit was that we weren't actually operating.
Yeah.
That we had I think had a month of funding. So still very much in build phase, but are comfortable with this.
I can give a word to Andrew Steele to hurry up the audit.
You're more than welcome to do that. Please do, yeah.
Any other comments or questions?
I just want to echo what His Worship said. There were a number of people from out of town that I met up with on Monday that were there over the weekend because there was the 40s, and they certainly thought that our facility was the envy of the Hutt Valley, but even of the Wellington region. So definitely a compliment to you and the team for the way that you present our amazing facility to those outside that come and visit. Yeah, thank you.
The credit must go to Cindy and her staff for that. We're hugely lucky to have you.
And it is hard for the Petone supporters to say how good they are. I mean, okay, any other questions or comments? Can we have the recommendation there that council receives and notes the report? Have a mover? Deputy Mayor Swale, seconded by Councillor Bentley. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Contrary, none, it's been carried. Now we go to page 64, item 6, which is the trust statement of intent for 2025 through to 2028.
Thank you. Yes, so this is our second statement of intent. What we have been able to do this time around now is capture some more specific targets in terms of performance measures. We've learned a lot over this last year and feel comfortable that this is a good reflection of what we're looking to achieve, and the measures will correspond to that. I think in terms of budgets, we feel that we are in a reasonably good position. We are forecasting a small surplus, which we think is really important. While we don't have a huge level of maintenance and the like currently because it's such a new facility. We are really conscious that that will, catch up on us further down the track. And also we're continuing to work hard to keep the community use, and particularly for those foundation sports, the costs of use to, a minimum. So, in putting this budget together, we have committed to not increasing the pricing for our foundation sports and for the community. We have made some small increases to bar prices that seem to have gone smoothly. And so, we're feeling really comfortable in how we represented those financials. The one thing that these financials do now include is some extra resource to think about how we manage our accounting function going forward. It's been very much myself and some of my board colleagues pulling that together. It's just getting now to a point where we're getting too busy and there's too much on, so we're just now looking at engaging a third-party accounting service to support that. So that has been included.
Oh, that's good, that's wise. Any questions? Councillor Bentley?
Thank you, Your Worship. Just on the page 69 of the bulletin there, under strategic outcome, utilisation, the occupancy rate targets 6% average utilisation, which to me just sounds a little bit low of a target. And I understand that that's across the whole week, right? Would it be worth separating it into outside of the working days? So you've got like weekends and evenings utilisation this weekday. Just so
Yes, that is something that we have talked about, and we are adjusting that as we go through.
So,
Yeah, we are certainly doing that at our board level, and
it's quite different, right?
We've just chosen to keep it at that average level for this accountability document.
Yeah.
But agree, I think the real challenge is that daytime period, which is what it is. But there's following activity that's building up in that space now, which is encouraging.
Just one more.
Yeah, Councillor Bentley?
Yeah, thank you. And sorry, just one more thing. I see in one of your targets, you've got a minimum $5,000 net surplus, yet in year 3 of your forecast, you're already kind of missing that target. So I'm just wondering if it's worth even having that target or if it's not going to be met within those 3 years.
Look, we will certainly keep looking to achieve that. So while the forecast is there, we'll continue to work that through year on year. I think with the forecast, we have still assumed probably some fairly conservative revenue increases while we've built in some and more inflation increases in the expenditure side. So we would still want to keep aiming for that year on year.
Thank
you. Councillor Carson?
Just a question on strategic risks. Could you summarise what your main strategic risks are over the next 3 years, please? And perhaps maybe the councillors might like a copy of the register.
Yeah, so probably the main strategic risk is the utilisation level, right? And not just utilisation, but ensuring that it's the community that are using it. So one of the constant balancing acts we have is getting people using the venue. What we're finding is increasingly there is a lot of private users hiring the venue, which is really great, but we need to just ensure that we're not pushing out community use over and above, what would be a more profit-making exercise. So that would be the first. The other is really from our perspective, particularly in the summer months, but also now increasingly in the winter is actually the access of the outdoor spaces so that people will still use our venue. So we really appreciate the cost that the council have put in around the sand dunes in particular, but there is a high level of some resistance to how well that space can be utilised in order to protect the turf. And we're also seeing, which is a great problem to have, with both the Rams and Upper Hutt football, they're growing. And so space is becoming a real premium both in the artificial turf and in the green room around those really peak periods of time. So those are becoming really challenging and causing a bit of tension, it's fair to say.
Thank you.
And then the third one is Cindy, actually. A real key piece of this. I mean, in an organisation like what we're running, it's very reliant on a very few number of people.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Wheeler?
You have 6 trustees on at the moment, but you have the ability to have 7 trustees. Are the 6 trustees, is the workload okay, or do you need more help there?
We are looking at replacing. Do you want to talk to it, Mike? Is it easier?
Yeah, this is through you, we have one trustee that is not going to seek another term in September. So we will be looking to advertise, so we go up to 7 trustees together, and that one trustee that is not renewing, so we advertise 2 trustees, and probably looking that term will start on the 1st of October, so it's something we'll do over the next months, and then bring a paper recommending that to council.
Councillor Gross?
Just wondering, listening to your the measurements around usage hours and things like that, wondering whether or not changing the parameters around that would be advantageous or not. If you could add an after hours measurement and a daytime measurement rather than just a general usage. Just thinking that we've had a
That's what Councillor Bentley said. Yeah.
That's probably right. Ads, not instead.
Yeah, we're just reinforcing it.
Yeah. I concur.
Do you agree?
I thought you're asking them to change it too. Oh, I will.
Okay, we have here the recommendation. We move council receives the report and the statement of intent and the appended strategic statement of intent for 2025-28. Moved by Councillor Carson, seconded. I'll have you to second. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
You know, it's been carried. Thank you for coming. Thank you very much. And thanks for the good work. We now move to item 7, which is the alteration of a council resolution. And you saw the rationale behind that when at the city services, when trustee Tim Thorpe had resigned, he had served his 3-year term, does not wish to be re-elected. Happy to move that. Do you want to speak? Councillor Wheeler.
Thank you, Richard. Yeah, I'm all for this, but just thinking ahead, you've got council meeting papers in the next lot, and on 6B, you've got it sort of ambiguous. So I just wondering, you've got 3 words there that says to Thorpe and.
Page 77, your worship.
Yeah. Sort of like this comes before the next one. So, and you've also got Tim Thorpe who reached the end of this term. But you've also got prior to that saying he resigned.
We'll need to change
You
that.
remove the first Tim Thorpe and.
Yeah.
Just remove.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. Councillor Bentley.
Did we, thank you, Richard. Did we apologise to Tim and thank him for his service? This from the
Talk to Manager Mike when he comes in, but yeah, I'm sure, yeah. we'll make a note of that, but I'm sure he has. So the recommendations there. We have a mover, councillor Bentley, seconded by councillor Wheeler. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
No, it's been carried. We now move to item 8.1, which is a record of the council meeting which was held on the 12th of December. Any item to be discussed? Yes.
That's six
Yep.
B, just
Yep.
add those three reasons.
No items discussed. I'm happy to move. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Alter. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Contrary, no, it's been carried. We now move to the confirmation of the council meeting held on the 19th of March. Any items to be discussed? Happy to move. Seconded by Deputy Mayor Swales. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Contrary, no, it's been carried. Now move to page 94, which happens to be the approval of the minutes of the City Services Committee meeting, which was held on the 26th of March. Any items to be discussed? Councillor Wheeler.
Worship. I'll ask the City Services Committee to confirm that the record of the meeting held on 26th of March is true, the correct record of the meeting. Seconded, councillor Alter.
Moved by councillor Wheeler, seconded by councillor. All those in favour say aye. Contrary, no. It's been carried. We now we adopt the recommendations of that meeting. I'm happy to move. Seconded by councillor Wheeler. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Contrary, no. It's been carried. We now go to page 100, which is the policy meeting, which was held on the 2nd of April. Are there any items to be discussed? Councillor Newell.
Thank you, Your Worship. I ask the policy committee to confirm that the record of the meeting on the 2nd of April is the true and correct record of the meeting. And a seconder, please, councillor Griffiths.
Moved by councillor Newell, seconded by councillor Griffiths. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Contrary, no. Been carried. We now we now adopt the recommendations of that meeting. Happy to move it. Seconded by councillor Newell. All those in favour say aye. Contrary, no. It's been carried. We now move to the confirmation of the minutes of the Hutt Valley Services committee meeting, which was held on the 7th of March. Any items to be discussed? Councillor Griffiths.
I ask that the members of the Hutt Valley Services meeting held on the 7th of March, true and correct record of the meeting. Councillor Newell.
Mover and councillor Griffiths, seconded by councillor Newell. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Contrary, no. It's been carried. I now move to adopt the recommendation of that committee. Happy to move it. Seconded by councillor Griffiths. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Contrary, no. It's been carried. Now that brings us to the end of the public part of the meeting. I now we can move into public excluded session. We have a seconder. Councillor Griffiths. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
No, it's been carried.